treated at the office every day. Usually they're running, though. All right. Well, first, thanks for coming out. It's pretty brutal outside, so your commitment in getting here, exceptional. So, give yourselves a hand of applause for making it here. That's fantastic. Now, since most of you guys in the room are associates already, and this is a training, and we want to talk about what it's going to take for you guys to be successful at Max. We've heard Chris talk about attitude. Attitude, critically important. The fundamental thing that I want to get across to you guys tonight is that it starts with you, right? It starts right here. What you believe in yourself, that's what's going to be reflected in your team. The people that you are around, the people that you talk to, they are the ones that are going to see how much you believe in you. You have to have a vision and purpose that you believe in first, about you. You have to believe in your purpose. Why do I get up in the morning? Why am I doing this? Am I going towards something that matters to me? That's got to be first, whether it's about your family, whether it's about your friends. You have to find your purpose first. If you don't believe in you, nobody else will. I promise you. You must believe in yourselves. Now, the fact that you guys are here on a cold, blustery, this might be summer for y'all, but so maybe I'm giving you too much credit. The fact that you are here, right? The fact that you've come out on a Friday night to listen to us, right? That's showing dedication, right? That's showing commitment. That's the first step. But I really want you to really focus so hard on your commitment in yourselves. Right? You have to believe in you, in what you're doing. You do that, right? You're right now on the cusp of an unbelievable business. There isn't any doubt about that. I can promise you that. Because I wouldn't have left my job in New York. I was, as you guys all know, I was right on the edge of what I thought was going to be the ultimate success in my life, being a partner in a New York firm. And I had to make that choice. I had to try to look into the future. Do I believe in what I'm seeing? Do I believe in my own judgment? Do I trust what I'm reading? And that was in terms of all the science that Dr. Nagasawa had, all of the products that Max had. As Mike correctly articulated, do you believe in Steve and his vision? Are these things that I'm seeing in the winter of 2008? A lot of you guys were here before me, so you absolutely saw those same things and believed in them. Am I going to change my entire life to go out and do this in Salt Lake City? Whew. Right? But it takes a certain amount of trust in me. And that's the same thing that you guys have to do. You have to believe in yourselves. You have to say, I see what's going on here. I love what's happening. Right? That is what's going to drive you through the tough times, right? We all like to think, you hear about all these things about overnight successes, right? We're going to be one of those overnight successes, probably in 2015. We're going to say, who the hell are these guys? Wow, all of a sudden they're on the scene. The fact is it takes every day, you have to decide that you're going to do something. Every day, it's those little steps. The overcoming those obstacles that are in front of you. Maybe your car broke down. You're having a bad day. Maybe your kid is sick. Right? There are always obstacles that are placed in front of us. Always. That's life. But it's that belief in yourself, belief in your vision, that dedication, that day-to-day drive that gets you from point A to point B. And then it's that team, right? Once you believe in yourself and you start to build your team, you start to build those people that you rely on, because I can promise you this also, there isn't a person that I've ever met, not one, and anybody that can show me differently, I'd love to meet this person, that has succeeded on their own? Nobody. You need other people to succeed. You have to have them, right? We all have support systems that are critical. When you're having those doubts, when you're having that tough time, just like we saw in that clip that Chris showed us, right? You need that person to pick you up. Or you need to pick somebody else up. That's the way life functions. That's the way we succeed. That's the foundation of why this company is going to be different and better than every other company out there. Because I can promise you this. I can promise every one of you in this room, I will work as hard as I can to make sure you're successful. Full stop. That's it. I am committed 100%. Everything. Every piece of energy I have will go into this business, all right? It's not because I couldn't make money doing something else. You know, I believe in myself enough that I think I can find myself in the middle of Mount Kilimanjaro and find a way to succeed. I may be wrong, but I believe in myself that way, right? I want you guys to have that belief deeply, right? But that's the type of energy. You bring that to this business and you believe in helping other people succeed. That makes a real difference, right? That's the foundation of our company. Herb Nagasawa, man, he didn't care about making himself rich. He cared about helping other people. That's what it was all about. Steve Scott, sheesh, this character and his wife, I think they're from Mars when I first met these people. They care so much about other people that they actually got some New York lawyer to care about other people. That's unbelievable. You know? That's what we're talking about. That's powerful, powerful change. That's what can happen. You know? I'm sitting there watching Herb Nagasawa dedicate 35 years of his life to developing a product to help the planet. I'm looking at Steve and Shannon Scott, who all they do is care about people. It's frightening to me. I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? Don't you just care about yourself? No. They care about other people. And that's where real success can happen. That's the type of dedication. That's what you guys are sitting on the cusp of. An unbelievable business that's backed by people who first care about other people. And that caring about other people led to the development of science that is revolutionary. Revolutionary science, right? When I looked at the science behind ribosine 3 years ago, I knew that this was special. I knew that there would be a day when I would be able to sit there and say, yeah, that was the right decision. We took the right steps. We were patient about it. And the first thing that came, the first sign of like, okay, we didn't rush, we're doing it right, was when we got invited down to Argentina. Did you guys see that? Yes. Okay? That's something all of you should be proud of. And for those of you who don't know, I got a call in May from the Argentinian Medical Association. And I'm like, who is this? Oh, it's the president of the Argentinian Medical Association. I'm like, okay, yeah, right. And I went to school with Barack Obama, right? No, just kidding. Of course I did. But there he was talking to me about the science behind ribosine. We don't understand the results that we're having with your products. I'm like, really? Okay, I didn't know whether the guy was for real or not. So we flew down to Argentina because I still am part lawyer, and I doubt everything. That's just in my nature. So it's good for you guys, trust me, because it protects the business. And I flew down there, and I sat in front of a panel of doctors who were just peppering me with questions about ribosine. I'm a good shill for the science, but I don't quite understand it enough. And they couldn't understand the results they were having in giving these products to their patients. What is happening? How are you doing this at $60 a month? This is unbelievable. And they wanted to have a medical conference centered around ribosine. Whoa! How many other network marketing companies have that? It's like, got milk? You got science? Do you have an invitation to a first world conference to discuss your science? Do they? I don't think so. This is what our business is built on. So we went down to Argentina on the 7th of November. Myself, Herb Nagasawa, Scott Momi, our entire science team, presented to 150 doctors from all around South America and Europe. That's what you guys are sitting on. That's what your dedication has led to. This type of opportunity. Unbelievable. Foundational pieces, right? We're trying to build a business that's going to last for 30 years or more, right? That takes time, that takes dedication, it takes patience. But our foundation, our science, is unbelievable, right? The dedication that people like myself, Steve, Herb Nagasawa, and all of you in this room, quite frankly, have to helping other people, that's foundational. These are foundational pieces, right? It may take a little time. As Bob said, we had a little screw up there on getting the ATP out. But that happens. We find solutions, we make it happen, we make it work, we keep moving, we keep improving. That's what we're all about. We're going to make it work. We're going to figure it out. We're going to improve. And our science, like I said, doesn't stop with ribosine. We're going to continue to have more products so you guys know that the long term is being thought of. You all know that we're going to be in every country on this planet. I mean, what happened with the Argentinian Medical Conference is that doctors all over South America are now calling up and asking us to come and present in their countries. Woo! Woo! That's good. That means that that's the opportunity in front of all of you right now. That they are starting to see the vision. They are starting to understand. We keep getting calls now. We have studies going on because a lot of people are calling for human studies. Human studies. Where are the human studies? Dr. Nagasawa will tell you, good science takes time. It just does. That's the way it is. And we all believe in third-party objective criteria. So that means that we can't produce these studies. We have to wait till the people come up with the study that they want to run. We will provide them with product. We will support the study, but it can't be ours. It has to be third-party. And that's the way it is, right? Because I don't want anybody ever taking these products and saying, oh, they're good because Joe Voyticky said they're good. I want them to be good because some person at the University of Toronto decided to set up a study and say, I want to see if your product does X. Okay, let's see. Here you go. That's the way it works at Max. That means that your business is, again, built on the foundation of complete legitimacy. We're not just, we're quite bad at hype. It's unfortunate, but we're going to get better at legitimate marketing around legitimate products with a legitimate purpose. I like that. That means that we're not going to be here today, gone tomorrow. Very, very good. This is good long-term business. So you should be very proud of the company that you're a part of. I want you to develop the pride, the power to be proud of who you are and what you're doing and believe in it deeply. Now, on to a couple of, we've got Max events up. So the Max events that are coming up, are we going to go to that slide? Mike? We're going to that slide, or we're going to go back to my training slides? Because I got Max events. That's not what I want.
Yes, boss.
Hey, man, I'm CEO. Get this done. What's up? What's up with you? All right, there you go. All right. Okay. Oh, I got a clicker. All right. I even got a clicker. Doesn't somebody click for me? Don't I have any benefits with this job? Oh, God. All right. So one of the things that's important to us at Max is we want people to develop specific skill sets, right? It's not enough for us to have the best products. That's great. That's one part of the foundation of what makes this company great. The next part that's going to make this company great is that we are going to develop training systems along with the leaders, because you have so many great leaders in this company that can teach you guys how to do this business great. And I learn from them every day. It's one of my favorite things about this business is that you're always learning. I call it like the great experiment that never ends, because I can continuously learn something every day. And you know what? It's like there's no consequence. Right? You know, in this business, you can try something, and if it doesn't work, so what? You know, you learn from it, and then you try something different. You do that at your normal day-to-day job, you might find yourself looking for another job. Right? But in this job, we can take a principle that we've learned, we can apply it, put our own spin on it, because everybody here is an individual. I like to say that people are not duplicatable, but actions are, right? I can't be any of you, but I can duplicate the things that you do. And hopefully I can turn them, make them my own in a way, and then utilize them in my business. So at our convention, we're going to make sure, and over time, we're going to make sure that we develop training tools so that you can take these things and apply specific action items to your businesses. We don't want to just send you out there thinking, oh, okay, I'm really hyped up right now, and this is great, this is great, this is great. What do I do? That'd be tough. That'd be tough to build a long-term success on. So here are two things, and this is I'm not going to go just to let you know, I'm not going to go super deep into all of the training that we're going to be providing, but I would like to give you a taste of what it is that we're working on. So if that's okay, here are two things, two keys to success that we've found so far with respect to being in Max. Number one, you have to be an excellent communicator. And number two, you have to learn how to build and develop relationships. All those are two fundamental keys, absolutely fundamental. You must keep these things in mind. I have to learn how to communicate well, and I have to learn how to develop relationships. Without those two things, I don't think that you can succeed. I think that this is very, very, very critical. Okay, let's see. You know, I love it when technology works. All right, there we go. I knew I could figure it out. All right, best practice. If something, now this is when you're out there and you're functioning in your business, because you're going to be communicating either verbally or you're going to be communicating over email or however it is. So this is something I want you to keep in mind. If something that you are about to do or say does not either, one, improve the method of communication, or two, improve the relationship that you have with the person or persons with whom you are communicating, then reconsider your actions or reconsider what you are communicating. Keep that in mind all the time, right? You just have to constantly repeat to yourself that, is this bettering the relationship? Is this improving the method of communication? Two things, right? Because when you better relationship and you better communication, you're more likely to have success in what you're trying to do. And what you're trying to do is share with people this opportunity. Right? Does this make sense? Okay? I know it's very, very fundamental, and it may seem obvious, right? But how many times do we get into communications and relationships with people where we just fall into the same rut? We fall into the same habits, right? This most particularly and is most prevalent in situations like with your family, right? Because they're, like with my mother, I can tell you it happens all the time, right? She says something and boom, it's triggered. Communication bad, relationship falling apart. Joe, you should shut up now, right? But I just fall back into the same thing until I actually cognitively intervene and say, Joe, this is not bettering your relationship with mom, and what you're communicating she's not hearing because you've fallen into the same pattern, right? So what I'm saying is, where you've stalled, if you've had an issue in terms of your business, how are you communicating things? Are you trying the same thing over and over again, right? Think about it when you go to a foreign country where you don't speak the language, right? So you repeat in English slowly, or in French, slowly and loudly, but they're not getting it because you're not really changing your method of communication. You're not improving the relationship. You're just getting louder. The relationship is deteriorating. Think about how that may apply in how you're presenting Max and how you're presenting the opportunity, right? Do we need to change it? Do we need to think about how we invite? Do we need to change our language? Do we need to ask better questions? Are we listening to what people need, right? That's how we're going to learn. We're going to constantly be diagnosing what we are doing. And we're going to make it better. Purpose, okay? Everything that you do in your business should be done with purpose. Why am I doing this? Why am I saying that? I want you guys to constantly be thinking about that. For what purpose am I doing this? Is it leading me to my goal? Very, very simple question, must be asked. Do not forget to ask this question. Okay? Well, and where this leads is that we must become excellent at diagnosing each of our actions, communications, in order to improve our rate of success. Very, very, very simple to say. Hard to do. Hard to do. I would ask you guys, how often do you diagnose what you're doing in your business? And I mean really diagnose it. Do you sit? Do you think? Do you talk about it with your teammates? Do you look at the list of action items, the list that Sylvain and Mike passed around? Fantastic. Absolutely beautiful. I'll put it to you that Sylvain is an amazing communicator. He's amazing at having conversation. He's unbelievable. I've never seen anybody so talented at this. You can learn a lot from watching the specific things that he does, the specific tools that he uses. They're exceptional, absolutely exceptional. I have never met a person who is more driven than Mike LeBrun. This guy makes hundreds of phone calls every day, and he's successful at it. But there's a specific way that he does it. There are specific actions that he does. A lot of you guys have tremendous amounts of talent. Tremendous, right? But the way you're going to succeed is to be able to tell people, I took this specific action. And you're going to tell your team, this is what you need to do. Right? Here's how you have a three-way call. You do X, Y, and Z. Here's how you talk to a person in a grocery store. Here's how you do this. Here are the specific things that I look for when starting a conversation. Right? A lot of you will do it intuitively. But we have to be able to break it down and diagnose. Because in this business, what's the key to success? That's right. Who said that? Say it. Duplication. What's not duplicatable? People are not duplicatable. What is duplicatable? Actions are duplicatable. Actions are teachable. And you have to learn how to teach the people that you work with in order to have duplication. Right? We are not here to build a business for today. Okay? We are here to build a business that is going to be legendary. That's the only thing that's acceptable. That's it. If you are in this room, you have to understand that I will not accept anything less. That's what we're here to do. We're going to be legends. Period. Nothing else. Nothing else is acceptable. We've been given everything. We have everything right in front of us. So what are we going to do? We are going to be so relentless on purpose. We are going to be so relentless on making sure that we provide our teams with the tools they need to succeed. Are we all right with that? This is one of the little things that we've learned, and we've been talking about an awful lot. Conversation versus presentation. Okay, it's very important. Now, we're going to talk a lot about this because I want to make a very clear distinction between the two things. Okay? Remember, one of the mantras that we are, and ground rules that we're going to lay is that if it doesn't improve communication and it doesn't improve relationship, we're going to reconsider what we're doing. Right? Fair enough? So let's think about these two things in this light, about conversation versus presentation. Conversation is a two-way dialogue, right? When you think about it in terms of its definition. It's one person talking to the other and the other person returning some type of information, right? It's an exchange, a mutual exchange, okay? To have a conversation, you must engage in active listening. Active listening. What does that mean? That means that you are actually listening to what the other person is saying, right? I know that sounds really weird. Of course I hear what they're saying because they're speaking. But the question there is, are you listening to them to refute them? Or are you listening to hear their needs? Right? You have to listen to what they need, what they want, what they desire. Very, very, very important. Because otherwise, how do you know what they need? How do you know what they want? One person's experience in life is very different than another's. Right? You guys have given the products out to thousands of people, no doubt. And I will bet you have probably 900 different experiences about what happened to people when they took the product. You have thousands of people who have been in network marketing. They have 1,000 different experiences. So we really have to be very, very well versed in listening and asking appropriate questions so that we are in a conversation. One of the things that I worry about with this business is that we all have such a profound experience with these products. And what happens then? It's like, woo, you need to take this stuff because it's going to make you have wings and you're going to fly. Woo, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. It's like, hold up, man. Chill. Easy, easy, easy. I'm not so sure I want to take the magic pill. All right? We want to be careful about that. We want to be very, very aware that are we in presentation mode? Because presentation mode, which is what I'm doing a little bit right now, it's one way. Right? It's all the information going this way, very little active listening. I don't know if you guys right now are sitting there saying, listen to this crazy man talking. I have no idea. I'm hoping that you're not. But I'm in presentation mode. So, and I'm trying and trying to convince, not converse. I am trying to convince you right now that what I have to say is good and important and you should listen to me. Right? I'm in convincing mode. We're not conversing back and forth. I'm not asking you questions about, does this make sense? Is this okay? Well, do you have any questions, right? Once you get into that mode, relationship gets better, right? You're listening to a person's needs. You're saying, okay, well, let me explain it to you. This is good because when you develop that rapport and you develop that relationship, it's more likely that the person is going to trust you and say, you know what, I would like to try that product or I'd like to be involved in that business. Does that make sense? Okay. Oh, that's great. I've got 4 indistinct arrows going in a circle. Let's see what happens. Oh, there we go. That's good. I love the magic. Okay. How many of you guys have been in this business and you've been into a situation where you're having you have a very hard topic that you don't want to bring up? That you're like, oh, I don't want to bring that up because, well, I don't know too much about the science. So if they ask me a question about the science, I'll just avoid it and defer. Right? Is there anybody in here who has any particular topic that is hard that they talk about this business? Anybody? Anything that's difficult? Jasmine? The what? The details through the comp plan. Okay. Now, what I would say about that is that you have to become either comfortable with having that conversation, or you have to be comfortable with yourself to say it to the person, you know what, I don't know the answer to that question, but I can guide you to some place where you can find the answers. Right? Because when we have doubts in our minds about anything, we've developed this instinct over thousands and thousands and thousands of years. That if a person senses that you're afraid of something, or you doubt something, you're going to manifest that in some way in your conversation. And what do most people do when they see somebody who is having a little bit of doubt? They run. They're like, I don't want to be involved. That person has something fishy going on there. They're trying to avoid something. They're trying to play hide the ball, right? And we may not be conscious of that, but we will manifest it in some way. And it may be conscious, it's probably unconscious, but it's not going to lead to the success that you may want. It may be someplace that you have to analyze, okay? One of the other areas that I've heard people have issues with is they try to describe network marketing in about 18 different ways to Sunday, right? So as to avoid the conversation that this is, yes, in fact, network marketing. That has been a common complaint or a common, observance for people. Has anybody had that issue come up? Huh? Anybody? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay. That's where this tool comes in. Okay? And now, so again, let's think about I want to take you through the themes. The theme, what's the things that we're talking about with communication and relationship? We always want to be trying to improve them. Okay? That's very, very critical. So, how am I going to be in a conversation with somebody? This is the question. How am I going to be in a conversation with somebody where I know network marketing is going to come up at some point in time, and I want to build and better my relationship and my communication? That's, right? Is that a common problem with some? Here's how we're going to do it. This is where people wind up in life. What this is a simple diagram of is how we run through life and then end up reinforcing our beliefs and our assumptions. So let me give you a common example of a belief. I see a green light, I can go through it. How many people believe that? Okay, so you don't look to your left, you don't look to your right, right? Because you've gone through life looking at green lights, driving, right? This is your data. This is your experience. You interpret the data as, I see green light, I can go. Correct? In fact, I can speed up if I see yellow. Right? You draw the conclusion that it's safe. Correct? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay, I'm just making sure you all are alive. And then we reinforce this belief constantly, right? Constantly reinforced. Keep going through green lights, keep going through green lights, keep going through green lights. But if I tell you guys and I come to you and I say, hey, I'm not so sure that going through those green lights like that without looking both ways is safe. What are you going to say? No, right? So if I have a conversation with you here in this box trying to convince you that your belief that going through green lights without looking left or right is okay, it's going to be a very hard conversation. It's a debate, right? It's a debate about beliefs. Stay out of this box when talking about any particular issue, whether it's on science, whether it's on business, whether it's on religion, whether it's on anything. If you're trying to talk to people about beliefs and trying to convince them otherwise, you're trying to convince them. That's not a conversation. That's a debate. You guys understand what I'm saying? Am I being clear? Here's where you want to get to. You want to get to this box. You want to get to the underlying data. Okay? So let's use the green light example. Well, I was driving through a green light and I got broadsided. Broadsided, hit, bam. New data to consider, right? So if I give you new data and we talk about our data, very, very different. Now all of a sudden we're having a conversation. So let's apply it to network marketing. So what happened with your experience in network marketing? Okay, now we're not in a debate anymore. By simply asking a question, you're asking them for their experience. Well, what does that lead to? If I ask somebody about their experience, does that develop rapport? Right? All of a sudden you're like, wow, you're listening. Right? You're not here. You're not saying, no, my company isn't like that. No. We're back into debate mode. Okay? We want to go here. What's your data? I don't ask it like that. So what happened? Wow. Was it a bad experience? Oh my gosh. And they start to talk. Now you're having a conversation. Very good conversation. They're talking. They're sharing their feelings with the group, so to speak. That's good. Well, my data is this. Oh, my goodness, my gosh, that's great. Thank you for sharing that, because I really need to make sure of that with respect to the company that I'm working with. But I haven't seen that yet, right? Or however you transition it, you have to stay here. We have to talk about the data. We have to acknowledge their experience. Very, very important in developing rapport, in developing communication. I can talk to you about this. They're sharing. We're out of this you're right, I'm wrong, you're wrong, I'm right mode. No chance of, I shouldn't say no chance, smaller chance of success. Smaller chance of developing a good relationship, smaller chance of developing good lines of communication. You can apply this to anything. Any area where you're having a very difficult time talking to somebody. I would venture to say that you're not actually having a conversation, you're into a debate. You're in box number 4. But once you introduce new data, particularly in this business, once you're patient enough to listen, develop the rapport, ask the good questions, listen to the experience, acknowledge whatever had happened, wow. Total change of mindset. Makes them much more open to a new experience. But it takes time and it takes patience. But if you apply this, it can work. It can work very, very well. So these are the type of training materials that we're developing. Right? There are things that we're working on, and there are a group of people here that have worked with me over the last 6 months patiently in helping me and helping Max to develop excellent training materials. Because we're going to be the best when we go out and help people do this business. Right? This is the type of stuff. So now here's my shameless pitch. When we're having a huge event in Las Vegas. It's our 2013 kickoff. We're going to have leadership training. The materials are developing constantly. We're working on them every day to try to make them better, without question. Mike, LeBron, and Ann, and Allison, and Holly, they're all working. They've been working with me, and Loretta and Joe Montero. It's a whole group of people here who have, this goes to what a great company this is. I'm learning things every day from these guys and Bill about how to make this stuff better, how to make these training materials right. And they're dedicating their time and donating their time to my learning experience so that we can make great educational materials. So, it's all, and Steve will talk about this without doubt, it's all about partnering. It's all about picking the right partners. I know that we've got the right partners here. We are developing world-class materials because that's what it has to be. Nothing else is acceptable. So, getting people to events to help people see that we are a different kind of company, a different kind of vision, that excellence is the only thing that we are going to wind up with. They have to come to experience it. It's going to be different. We're always improving. We're always going to make things better. So the Vegas event is going to be tremendous. We should have some great things happen there in terms of the training, in terms of all of the